So we're going to have fun with this review. Like we always do, the following words strike fear into the hearts of many TMPers. Gear check. Specifically, an EDC gear check right here, right now. What? Me? You can't be serious, not right now. I mean, I'm just coming from work. Nope. Gear check. Now, if you're a long-time TMPer, dating back to 08, 09, I know there's thousands of you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around all these years, supporting me. Love you. You know the whole concept of gear checking a dude started right here in TMP. I think a lot of channels do it now. A lot of online entities do it, and that's cool. Started right here. I thought there's no better way to check a dude's preparedness on some level and to see if he's watching the videos, because I do, after all, advocate a certain level of preparedness, yes, even for everyday carry. By the way, your screen is not broken. We're going to start off in darkness and move into light with this gear check flashlight video. For instance, I'm going to post either on the A channel, B channel. You should be subscribed to both. By the way, if you're a double owl TMPer, on the top are your sub buttons. Hit them. I'll post on one of those channels a total fail gear check by two TMPers, self-proclaimed. Yeah, they didn't do so good. They can't all be winners. For instance, they didn't have this. Boom. Told you we'd move into light. A flashlight. It's pretty easy to carry a flashlight, guys. It's probably your most useful EDC item, next to a good pocket knife. We're just talking about everyday tasks that we're presented with as men. Should be prepared. Yeah, I gear checked those TMPers. They didn't have a light. The one I had is the one you have seen me carry lots and lots and lots. Streamlight ProTac AAA. Great light. Love it. I will continue to carry it. It makes sense in a ton of systems. I've talked about it through the years many times. However, it's time to turn you on to perhaps a replacement for the ProTac. Say it isn't true, Nutton. Say it isn't true. I know you love that light. Its predecessor, I do. I still think they're great gift items, by the way. Link at the bottom. Buy them whenever you've seen them. They're that good. But I think you might be like me, and we don't talk flashlights all the time in the Nutnfancy project. We just have too many things to talk about. And honestly, I've been so happy with the lights I've purchased, like this one, years ago. I'm really not motivated. I'm not a flashlight channel. I'm a gear adventure channel, the first. And so I cover a broad expanse. But I have a need for more lights in some of my systems. And I was thinking, you know what? Let me go out there and find something better. And this was my motivation, by the way, that has a better burn time than that. For as excellent as the ProTac AAA is, and yes, I know there's AA versions, but they're way too big for me. Its burn time was letting me down at times, and it still will. And I was swapping out the batteries. So I kind of went back in time. You know, I jumped into the DeLorean and started thinking about the Phoenix P3D, which kind of kicked off my whole lighting products reviews. Back when. I still love this light. Remember I said I'm so happy with, you know, the lighting products I started out with? This is one of them. In fact, to this day, in night shoots, camping videos, whatever, motorcycle videos, you'll see me running this light in a Phoenix headband still. The Phoenix P3D. But it does have one glaring weakness. No clip. It does have a great burn time, CR123 cells. And so I've kind of honestly been out of the lighting scene for a while. I don't always click around and watch what's going on with flashlights. I don't. But I went on a hunting mission. You've seen the title for the video, obviously. And what I found that's as good, actually even better than the P3D, is the subject of this review video. No whip sound this time. The Olight S20R Baton. If you're in a hurry, just buy it now. It is that excellent. I am so stoked on it. Olight doesn't know I'm doing this review. I just go out and I buy this stuff. Same source I have at the bottom of the page, by the way. That's where I got it. Amazon. The Amazon link's at the bottom, so just buy it. Yeah, a lot of guys just tune and say, hey man, what do I buy? They don't need to hear the whole video. They're just like, what do you recommend? They trust my judgment. From hundreds of purchases or whatever, just buy it. It's that good. For one, and I have two lights to show you. One's in package, and this is a kind of a whole set they got going into Amazon right now, and I'm going to recommend it to you. But here it is out of package right here. Whip sound for this one. And let's throw it on the table right off because SAWC is paramount to me for an EDC light. A lot of people aren't this way. They'll carry a big old honking light and they're totally happy with it. Hey, bless them. That's awesome. I'm not. Look at it compared to the P3D. Boom! Awesome. That is the first awesome thing. It's the same size and essentially actually a little bit shorter than the P3D. How about diameter? And this is my standard of reference. It really is because I've carried this so long, both in pocket, mostly on headband. Early in the project, we were weapon lighting it. That worked okay too. I mean, it's not ideal, but it worked. About the same diameter. Total win for SAWC. The weight on this one is going to be a little bit heavier, and I'll explain why. 3.8 ounces. The P3D, now ancient in terms of modern lighting technology, although the technology itself is very functional, 2.8 ounces. So this is an ounce more. Let's talk about philosophy of use and why I decided to sometimes not carry this light and go with this one. We mentioned it already. EDC, man. Here is a more serious note, and we are fooling around having a good time in the video, no doubt. But your light can save your life. You might be in a situation, see how that's rolling, by the way, that's kind of annoying because it doesn't have a clip. The downside we'll mention again. Your light could save your life. Maybe you're in a stairwell in a building that's on fire. Maybe the power goes out, and it may not save your life or be that dramatic, but it's a very important tool to have on your person. When it's a AAA cell like this, you guessed it, your burn times are not awesome, and it's also going to fail you when you need it the most. I just have a hodgepodge of alkalins in here right now, just going through them. And that's what I found to be the case. You probably too. In a business attire, when you're working, when you need a very slender pin-size light, this works. I still love the Preons as well. They're excellent. There's some other great ones like the Next Torch T3 that I've reviewed. Totally awesome. They're still part of my systems, but when a light is this small with an improved power source, probably a better EDC option. I know what some of you guys are saying. Dude, that's why I've always ran 123 cells or 18650s. Understood, but I've talked to a lot of you guys, and some I've gear checked you that did pass, by the way, the gear check. And their flashlights are way too big. I mean, kind of like this one, and it's a successor to the P3D. This is a great light. PD32 by Phoenix. It's a cool light. You can see where I relegate it. Kitchen. Main reason is the freaking tail cap sticks out too far. It's just too much. I mean, the tail cap should be a loop over one like the Olight S20R. It doesn't. Still a great light. We'll cover the UI just super briefly. I'm reviewing this one, not that one. Good light, but it's too big as an EDC light. And diameter-wise, just a little bit thicker. It doesn't work for me. I'm banging in the pocket. But that's my system, my own approach. Still talking philosophy of use. Medical light, it depends on if you can integrate it. I would probably go with a more slender light in that situation. The form factor holds more like a pen. It just works better. And you're right there in the office, so getting batteries is not a problem. When I go on the road, though, probably a 123 or upgraded power cell is better. And then we can throw in bug out kits, motorcycling, backpacking, all the other philosophies I've talked about in the past. They all will play for this, but I want to focus on EDC, a light you always have with you at all times. That's it. Moving on. Construction, water resistance. I used to put an insane amount of work into my flashlight vids. Now, not enough people watch them for me to go to all that work. So it's going to be a tabletop, nothing more. No water barrels, no deep sea diving, no shock tests from the top of a bridge. That was early in my flashlight review history. Still fun, part of our history, but I'm going to get the message out this way. IPX7 to about 1 meter water resistance is going to be good enough for most realistic purposes. Like I've always said, you need a dive light, get a dive light. Anodizing, military grade construction. very standard now against what I perceive to be a broad range of really excellent lighting products. It's not just Olight, it's not just Phoenix, it's not just 4.7s. You really almost can't go wrong with a lot of the lights that are out there. However, some rise to the top. The Olight, in my opinion, S20R is one of those lights. Ergonomics. We talked about the thinness. It's just easy to use. I think ergonomically the biggest win on this is, and I've already said it, is the loop over clip. So it carries deep in pocket. I mean, this one didn't have a clip at all. You could put one on it, but it really wasn't outfitted with a clip, and it can pop off. I've had them pop off on the ProTax before, but generally if you squeeze it pretty tight, it'll stay on. That much protrudes, but it's a much more slender light. I talked about the 4.7s. I'm going to put another competitive option on the table here. And it's an interesting light, and it's just as light, actually, no pun intended, a little bit lighter than this one, and it's Keltec. What? I've had this light forever. It's technically the CL42 Keltec CNC. It's in the gun safe. That's what I use it for. And I label this for the boys because they'll kype it, or the wife even, like that one's labeled flashlight. I recommend you do as well, because they should be positioned throughout your house, your missile silo, your trailer, your cabin, whatever, you know, because someone's going to walk off with it. This is a great light. It's single mode, great beam pattern, great throw, and it's super light. It's a great light. I did have to like grind this blocky milling down because it's obnoxious when it goes in and out of the pocket. I'm showing it to you here for pocket clip and how much protrudes. Decent light. You can go to Keltec's website for this one. Last time I checked though, they were like totally sold out. Ergos on this one though are excellent, and that takes us actually to the most, maybe not the clip, but the next most important function of ergonomics, and that is the UI, user interface. I'm glad to see now they are more simple. I've said that in a couple lighting reviews in years past. They've improved to the point where they go, hey, guys don't want to have a very complex interface. It just throws them for a loop. So, number one, and we'll go through the modes like this, is you have a side button. That's not it. That's your charging interface right there that we'll show you here in just a sec. Let's turn the light off, and we'll go to what I think I'm in 1 lumen moonlight mode. And this camera does a pretty good job of capturing it. Let me flash over, make sure I'm telling you right. 480 hours, if that is indeed the 1 lumen. I think that's very useful in the backcountry when there's no external light. You have complete night vision. You'd be surprised at how bright that appears. We're used to city lights, lights in our houses and our vehicles, and then we'll amp it up. I gotta hold it actually. There we go. Okay, then we go up, and I think that's 5 lumens, 120 hours. Press and hold. Goes up even higher. That's the 120 lumens at 4 hours, and that's with a fresh 18650 power cell, which this light is designed to run off of. Press and hold. A lot of us still call that turbo mode. I think maximum mode also describes it. About 2 hours, and this is with a power cell that's at room temperature. If you're in freezing conditions, whatever battery source you have is going to be more limited. Look at the beam, by the way, on that. Patches, by the way, at the website. Shameless promotion. Yep, still there. Selling like crazy so far. They'll be gone soon enough. Look at the pattern, though. No artifacts. Nice halo. This is an XM-L2 LED and the S20R. They did have a regular S20. I like this one better. Great beam. I don't think it's a thrower though, and we can pretty much tell that by looking into the reflector, right? So if it's a super deep reflector, it's going to have more throwing capability. This is more of an area light, the way I look at it. Now they say 387 feet illumination, you know, out of the S20R. I say as if. More like 100 feet usable illumination from what I've seen. But more importantly, it provides that close-in illumination that is very helpful in a ton of EDC situations. You're not going to be looking to throw a light at 100 feet usually. It's going to be like within 25 feet. You're looking at a vehicle for something dropped, maybe in a theater. Maybe you're in that stairwell. I hope you're not trapped in a fire condition. That's going to be about a 30-foot throw. This light is perfect. You saw the beams on it. It's just really cool. And I'm just going with manufacturer's rating on the Olight, and that's ANSI standard. If you want to know more about actual burn times, candle power, real lumens, there's all kinds of information you can dig up on the internet if you want. The reason this is so awesome, in addition to a very cool and useful interface, and by the way, I forgot to show you this, and that is de-strobe. And so to access the mode, you're just going to press a switch. Nice click on it, by the way, very positive. And then you'll just press and hold to go to the next mode. And you can just keep it held and it'll cycle through until you find the one you want. And you can select it. And then if you just double press, you'll go into strobe, which I still think is useful. Like I said, I use that as a tint finding tool or anything finding tool when you go hunting. For instance, I put them on steel targets in the desert so I know where they're at. A lot easier to locate so I don't lose them. I've done that before, by the way. Nice. And that's the UI. So if I turn it off, what's it going to go into? Steady. Because it's like, hey, dude doesn't want to use strobe. If he does, he'll press and hold that switch. Actually, double press. I screwed that up. There you go. And that's it. I love the moonlight mode too. So it has that very useful moonlight mode. Perfect. And we're going to show you the battery and the tail cap. O-ring sealed, standard stuff. Look inside the body. And here's the power cell. 18650s rock. If you don't know what they are, it's a big honking, I consider it kind of a high amperage battery. You can see 3400 milliamps, and there's probably ones that have even more. And it's sized to fit it because they are fatter than CR123s. You can use 123s in here in an emergency, the instructions say. You will get a little bit of a rattle, but they'll work. I tried it. They work fine. It's meant for this one, though. So if you really want to be prepared, have that fully charged up. If you don't, have another 18650 on your person, ready to go. Hold that down. What a cool light, man. I love this light. So simple UI, awesome versatility, and the track record, at least in my limited time possession, has been perfect. Again, that's not a surprise. The lights are so good these days. Let me crank it up one more. There we go. We talked about some competitive options already. To the Olight, let's turn this off. S20R, right? I still love the Keltec. It's a cool light. Simple. It's going to be about the same price. Actually, even more expensive than this one. Between the two, I'd go for that one. All day long. The P3D, still love it. Oh, man, what a cool light. I just wish it had a really deep, super awesome carry clip. And maybe someone's made it. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And I don't even know if this is popular anymore. One I haven't shown, or maybe I have. Quark 123. I guess I need to turn this on so you can see what's up. This is a cool light. It really is. But you notice a problem with that freaking tail clip? Look how much protrudes from your pocket on the Quark, and they've renamed it now. This is an older version. It's too much. You know, it's just too much. If they put a deep loop over clip, and there's probably one out there, sorry I don't have it on the light, then this light competes with anything on the table because it's essentially the same size. Turn these off so my white balance comes back properly. They're essentially the same size, right? This is a great light, and when I reviewed it, I raved about it, and I won't change anything about my review. I do like the tint of the Olight better than this one. This is kind of a greener, yellowish tint, my own preference. This is a cleaner, brighter tint. Now, I'm not really showing you equal brightness levels. There you go. It's about on par, more or less, and there goes the P3D on a trip again. This is a great option though. So you can go to 4.7s, buy their lights. They're still excellent, although I haven't seen a lot of new models come out of them for a long time. Olight though, for the price you're going to pay for the S20R, which is the upgraded, and by the way, if I didn't say so, it's named the Baton, comes with a 5-year warranty, decent, and if you buy it on that link right now, subject to change, you get it with all this freaking cool stuff. And I'm being serious. You guys know that I don't like a bunch of hokey crap. Only if it's useful. So let me show you what that link, what they'll include in it. Deploying the Endura EDC blades. Speaking of being prepared. It comes with some extra things that are not Olight branded. They just jam them into the package. There is the lanyard, Olight lanyard, couple of spare O-rings. That comes in it. And this is super cool. These lighting wands. This one's glow in the dark, by the way. Check this out. Kind of cool. And I know it's simple, but I guess I'm easily amused. Whatever. Now, we've shown lighting wands before, right? But this is kind of a smarter thing because it will attach on top of your Olight, of course, and it will function to be an area light, which I've shown in a lot of videos before. I love lighting wands. They're super functional, useful. But then when you turn the light off, and remember, we're in pitch black darkness up in the mountains, we can find our light again. Someone thinking, that's cool, super smart. And then you get the signaling version, the red one, coming into the package. And this is, again, not Olight. It's in the package if you use the link only. Oh, that's cool. You know, you just play lightsabers with this thing. That's how cool it is. And part of that special, buying from Amazon, and again, this is limited time. I don't know when this continues. I got to keep saying that because people may find this video in a year and they'll be bummed this is gone. Has like a Griffin USB adapter for a 12-volt plug. Always useful. I use them on the motorcycle all the time, although I use a different brand. And check this out. You know what that is? I didn't either. I had to like re-look, and I didn't buy it for all this stuff. It just kind of came with it, but it's kind of cool. Here's a rechargeable battery pack that I have. I use it for iPhone stuff and other things. So I'm going to turn the power on, and this is a touch-sensitive nightlight. Comes with a package, like free. Disregard the blue lights because that's part of the battery, but this is what you get. And then you just touch the back of it, and you can just cycle through some brightness settings. Actually, I think it's just one setting. Still freaking cool, though. That's the nightlight. Now, this particular battery pack is pretty wicked. I love it. I use it a lot, and it's an iWalk. I'll put a link to that. And I did buy it off Amazon as well. Check this. It actually has a light built into it, so I don't need a nightlight. I was just using it as a power source to show you. So you just press and hold. Boom. There it is. It's got its own nightlight. It's like, yeah, I'll see your nightlight and raise you one. And this thing will burn forever. Well, not forever. It's like, I don't know, infinity minus one. What it does. One other competitive option I've already shown you. It is the PD32, which is much larger, a little bit heavier. I don't like EDC in it. I'm not going to lie. Out of all the lights on the table, my favorite to EDC, the Keltec is super slender. It really is. I don't like its blocky construction. If it was smooth, this might be my top pick. Although it's very limited. It has like one mode. That's all. It doesn't have a moonlight mode. So maybe not. In some philosophies it works good. PD32 I still love. Love the 4.7. Still excellent. I don't like that particular clip. Like I said, there's some other ones around you can put on there. This one. That's it. I'm turning on to it. Did you order it yet? If not, you should have. 60 bucks? I mean, for the wands, you get that, and there's something else that came in the kit that I forgot. And speaking of forgetting, I got to show you how this thing is recharged. So out from the package comes this. And it might be a downside in some people's minds. They're like, well, there's not a micro USB place to charge on the S20R Baton. I kind of disagree with that because it's a small, actually as small as can be, 18650 cell EDC light. And so, you know, you're going to have to add waterproofing, bulk, cost, all that stuff. This is how you charge it. It comes with a magnetic base with a micro USB charging cable, which you probably have 1,000 of already. And it also has a USB thing on the side, right here. And I should have brought the one I have out, but I didn't. So it's this one. Very cool. Magnetically held. So just plug that in at any source. I could charge it with this battery right here. And it would work great. Magnetically held. Excellent. So the downside, I guess you could say, well, you don't have to have this. It's in flashlight charging, so that's a plus. Notice, by the way, it doesn't roll. It's got kind of the hexagonal thing on it anyhow, even if you didn't have the clip. And all the anti-reflective coating. I didn't really cover that because it's so standard these days. You don't really have to use this. You can just take the power cell out and use a regular, 18650 power charger. I do it all the time. But the easiest way would probably be this. I'll give it a likability scale on camera. So far, 10 out of 10. Well done, Olight. Might be my new EDC light when we do a mutual gear check. Yeah. Carry a flashlight, dude. And a knife. And the other things. Come on, man. Be prepared. Love this light. See ya.